Hi, love friends. This is Chris Power from Miraculate Healing, and thank you for being here today. Today we're up in the Lost Lake of Bellacoola, BC, in the backcountry. Beautiful, beautiful, magnificent place. Lots of healing, lots of recharging happening here. So today I have a great video for you. Okay, so today's video is the power of remorse, or what is remorse? So we'll talk about it in great depth, so stay tuned. Okay, so what is remorse? So remorse is a deep and painful regret for wrongdoings and compassion for oneself. Remorse is shyness, embarrassment, admitting your wrongs, apologizing, facing yourself instead of running from yourself, seeing life as learning, compassion, kindness, allowing for mistakes, growing, and expanding. So when you have remorse, you permit yourself to make mistakes in all areas of your life, which in turn sets you free. Okay? So it's okay not to get it perfect for everything you do is already perfect. You're perfectly learning, You're perfectly miserable, you're perfectly mad, you're perfectly sad, you're perfectly happy, you're perfectly unfolding, you're perfectly learning about your life lessons. So remorse, what happens is the foundation of remorse is removed. Okay? You don't get a feeling like a human being that you can make mistakes, okay? That you are forgivable, or that you can be prepared and not be prepared, okay? So you don't get a sense that your needs and wants are valuable and you're worth having. And you don't get any sense you can create out of action, just reaction. That you don't have a basis for any character. You don't have a basis for principles and ideas. You don't have a basis for spirituality. And that is foundation of remorse is given to you in infancy. The ingredients, but it is in the teenage years that remorse becomes real or not real. So remorse can change your behavior too. And in turn, can change your direction in life. If you feel shameful for any action or decision you may have done, it can stop you dead in your tracks. Guilt can numb you in your tracks. It can numb your life purpose, your mission, even able to channel right. So in turn, you admit to yourself, it is time for change. And remorse kicks in. You laugh, ha ha ha, and you brace yourself. Have compassion with thyself. And then you allow yourself the room to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I celebrate them. In all areas of your life, Divine One. Remorse motivates you to change your behavior and actions to rise out of your own unencumbered self. So be it. So we use shame and remorse as tools throughout our daily decision making. If I do this, I'll feel shame. But if I do that, I'll feel remorse. But if I acknowledge my past shame from childhood, I stuff down as wrong and bad, and I now embrace myself from the past, love the unloved girl or boy within, and have remorse for my past, self-judgment, and at this moment I feel and free myself. So we can use our shame to slowly eat away at the self, or rise into remorse for self and others, and embrace thyself with forgiveness. Ho'oponopono. I forgive myself. I love myself. And others, I laugh. I forgive. I grow and expand from my past. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's say positive shame is remorse, okay? And negative shame is shame. So because I feel remorse, I am motivated to change. And I am ready to make a different decision and choice than I made before. So now when shame is introduced, it has two choices. It can either grow in the positive light and blossom into the most wonderful thing called remorse. The ability to know you are wrong and to make a mistake and to admit it, to be embarrassed and ashamed of your behavior, your actions, and your impact. Or all of that same shame can be stopped, repressed, stomped, depressed, repressed, several ways, and in turn, its negative face, which we call shame. So the positive shame is remorse. The negative shame is a shame. It can be repressed and pushed down into that state called shame. Although it's reinforced, and although it is internalized, after all the period of time, it is always introduced during that period of 18 months to 36 months, a year and a half to 3 years old. So you see, during that time, you recognize your separateness. You discover this shame, and in turn, it turns positive and it becomes remorse. Okay, so remorse is a very powerful and beautiful energy because it does several things. It is vitally important energy in your reality. Okay, so first of all, number one, remorse allows you to make mistakes. It allows you to be human. Number two, remorse is the basis for all forgivability and therefore your forgiveness. If you feel no remorse, then you have nothing to forgive and nothing to be forgiven for. Remorse is an integral part, an ingredient. It is a basis and fuel for forgivability and that forgiveness. 3, remorse also is what helps you define and to know what parts of your life you are prepared for and what parts of your life you ain't prepared for. It's not the only ingredient, but it's a vitally important ingredient to help you discern where am I prepared and where am I not prepared. When you behave in a way that produces action for what you feel, remorse, you realize I'm not prepared. There are no actions that produce remorse. I am prepared. Number 4, remorse creates the friction that allows you to need and to want and to know what your thoughts, needs, and wants are. Often it's that friction, that heat, that energy that allows you to define what are your needs, what your needs are, and what are my wants compared to your wants. Remorse creates that friction that allows you to determine your wants and your needs. Number 5, remorse also motivates choice and change. When you look at a particular behavior of yours or pattern of behavior and you discover and decide you want to change it, why? Because it's a wonderful behavior? Because you like it so much? Because it's so enduring? No, because you feel that sense of remorse, the embarrassment, the scariness, the shyness. That is what remorse is all about. Because I feel remorse, I am motivated to change. And because I feel remorse, I'm ready to make a difference, different choices than I made before, right? Without that remorse, there would be a very little motivation to do anything other than the way you have already done it. And that's not working. Number 6, also later in life, remorse combines with principles to produce character. It gives depth to the character that is a vital ingredient. Instead of being a shame-based person full of regret, you've got character. 7, finally, it's remorse that plants the seeds for self-awareness. I have an impact. And it's remorse that plants the seeds for self-realization. That I can direct that impact because although I am not God Goddess of all that is, I am a piece of God Goddess of all that is. Becoming a bigger piece of God Goddess of all that is. Therefore, with the presence of remorse, with this ingredient within your system, which begins to develop during 18 months to 36 months. With this remorse, okay, you can be human, forgiven. Know your preparedness and your unpreparedness. Have needs and wants, choices and change, character, and indeed a sense, an honest sense, a real sense of spirituality. That is not just religion, philosophy, or a theory or practice, but it's a way of life. More than a way of life, it is life. So be it. So let's build a shield of remorse around us, okay? You see, it is very important to build a new shield around us. And now is a time to do this and to teach our children how to build their very own positive light shield of remorse around themselves, to build a light guard around you. One must first dismantle the dark protector, the shame protector around themselves, but also at the same time build, weave, construct, integrate, renew, rebalance, refurbish, and form a new light shelter around themselves. Okay? To build a light guard, we use ingredients that could have been there, or should I say, should have been there. And most of all of you taught to use all along. So it's not impossible to do. Just think, we can be more creative now. We can use the vast power of our imagination now. To be more open now, more in tune now, and more impassioned to recreate a light shield of remorse around us. These ingredients are all around you now, great ones. Deep within the Lord God of your being, just waiting to be formed into a light protector around you that nourishes you, uplifts you, and allows you to grow and bloom. All the ingredients you need to construct a light shield of remorse that protects you. You are within it, and you're within it now. This is not impossible to do. Just think. We can be more creative now. We can use the vast power of our imagination now to be more open, more in tune, and more impassioned to recreate a light shelter around us. So these ingredients are all around you now, great ones, deep within the Lord God, Goddess of your being, just waiting to be formed into a light protector around you that nourishes you, that uplifts you, that allows you to grow and to bloom. All the ingredients you need to construct a light shelter that protects you are within you now. Suppressed and shamed, you can use these new and old hidden treasures, ingredients deep within you that I will share with you now. Let us create them together. We ascend together as one galactic light of love, the Syrian way. And the redefinement and elegance of the metaphysical world, in the excellence and beauty of this uplifting cosmic reality of the unknown God, Goddess, we can and we will dismantle our very own dark shame based of pain and destruction that has imprisoned us, that has imprisoned you by your own design. This dark system, which is all around you, will fall instead of great ones. We will create a new light shield, a new light shelter, fabricated from the love within. As you go about destroying your very own dark protector of shame around you, you will instinctively know, trust, and act upon, and you will start to construct the light screen of remorse from the very ingredients you originally had to make it with inside of yourself, loving yourself when you make mistakes. Also, as you go about building the light protector, you will automatically deconstruct the dark defense, quick reaction, wasn't me, system around you. So what are those ingredients that makes up this light protector around us? Something to make, something to construct with, to form, to build, to integrate, to weave, to knit tightly together with golden threads of light? First, number one, and foremost, one needs to have a sense of deep feelings. That is, it's okay to make mistakes, mess ups, to not know the answer. That it's okay to pass if we do not know or have the answer. And the willingness to admit that I am wrong. Let it all be right. Let it be all right, that you may be prepared to handle certain things. And there are times you will not be prepared to handle certain things. And that is okay. So a deep sense of remorse, is one we can easily forgive themselves, right? And others. It is safe to want your own needs and wants and to have your own desires and choices. Okay, Divine One? This is purely and privately your own. A blessing indeed. So be it. So one can motivate themselves out of a sense of character, a character that calls you to action, not to get out of trouble, though, or to get something particular from someone, not to be even noticed either, but instead, one can motivate themselves out of desire to act to be, to change. So instead of just waiting to react to every little thing you may be afraid to get wrong. So a sense of remorse, okay, gives you that spiritual character, which is a higher level of the physical characteristics that you see in yourself and others developing now in this great awakening that we're all going through. So by molding and forming this new light screen around you, you reactivate your own piece of God Goddess, a piece as a part of the whole that grows into a bigger piece. As you grow and into who you're destined to become, God Goddess. So by knowing these qualities, those things we just laid out here, give you the capacity to feel genuine sorrow, disappointment, distress, loss, grief, sadness, regret, misfortunes, to feel sorrow and to feel genuinely sorry. That is what remorse is, a genuine feeling of sorrow or a genuine feeling of feeling sorry. That you can feel and feel sorry at the same time, and it's okay. Because around it and underneath it all, you know deep within you that you can make mistakes, that you are not a mistake, or you're not at all, that you are forgivable, that you loved no matter what you perceive as wrong, that you don't have to be prepared. You have your needs and wants now. You have a spiritual character, which is very important, physical character and spirituality. And because of this new foundation, great one that you are, can generally let oneself feel sorrow. What a gift to feel sorrow and remorse and to not feel bad, guilt, or shame for feeling. Many do not develop this because the foundation is, and the criteria for the foundation are not there. Most people don't feel they can make mistakes, nor do they feel they are forgivable. They have to always be prepared and admit that they never are prepared and that their needs and wants should be last to others, especially those with a higher nature or status, that they have no real basis or character, the ideals and principles and the consistency of action that motivates metaphysically or physically. They do not even own their own spirituality. Then some claim they are God Goddess, but are afraid to admit they are peace, but instead want to admit they are the whole thing. Then by doing this, God Goddess won't abandon me if I am all God Goddess. If I am just a piece of God Goddess, then run the risk of coming from an absent or of spirituality, not a wholeness of spirituality. So remorse is what we are to begin to learn at a very early age in life, which is most often than not suppressed and repressed with shame. The first ingredient to build your new protector around you is a deep sense of remorse. You're allowed to make mistakes. Tell yourself this. It's okay if I do not know the answer. It's okay if I pass, and it's okay. I'm here to learn, to grow, and to evolve on my accelerated path into my God Goddess truth in form. I'm awakening. I rise in self-love and have eyes of compassion for all, including myself. I release the emotions of feeling guilt and shame, and I transform them into freedom and remorse. Oh, what a feeling that is. I forgive. I allow. I let in. I let go of everything that no longer serves me. And I embrace remorse throughout my life lessons. Thank you for listening to me today. Give yourself a sense of remorse. I know what it feels like to have remorse. I know when to have remorse. I know when to go throughout my life with remorse. So God's definition of remorse. And download me now. So be it.